Another video. So here we are continuing on enable diagnostic logging. So we say there are built-in diagnostics to assist with debugging an app service app. Then here we say diagnostic logging types and platforms supported, right? So the types, I'm just gonna go through the list. So on the list we have application logging, web server logging, detailed error logging, failed request tracing, deployment logging. Then for the platforms, we have Windows, we have Linux, right? And for locations, we have various type of locations like app service file system. We have Azure storage blob. We have, yeah, so that's that app service file system, Azure storage blob. And yeah, those are the two locations we can store the diagnostic loggings. So cool. So application logging is supported by both Windows and Linux. You can store it on application service files and or at storage blob, right? Then we have web server logging, which is only supported for Windows. You can store it on an app service file or as your storage blob. We have detailed error logging, which can be which only supported for Windows, and this can be stored on app service file system. Then we have failed request tracing. So this is requests that are failing for whatever reason. That is only supported for Windows and can be stored on app service files. Then we have deployment logging, which checks when we make changes to our code base and deploy it to what you call Azure App Service. That is supported for both Windows and Linux. We can find all that information in the app service file system. So here there's details that says that. So deployment logging helps determine why a deployment failed. Essentially, failed request tracing, detailed tracing information of failed request, including a trace of the IIS components used to process the request and the time taken in each component. Detailed error logging, copies of the HTML error pages that would have been sent to the client browser. Web server logging, raw HTTP request data in the W3C extended log file. Application logging logs messages generated by your application code. Cool, that's that. To enable application logging, which is the first one there. That is on Windows, app service logging, application logging in file system is temporary debugging purposes. If turned off it is turned off automatically after 12 hours. Application logging in blob is for long-term logging and needs to be to have a blob storage container to write logs to, right? So you can't have application logging on blob for short-term or whatever. You can though, there's nothing blocking you, but ideally it's for long-term purposes. You can also configure logging levels. So you can also configure logging levels, so you can set it to disabled, a note, error, warning, information, and verbose. Right? Not sure if I have something to do there in the portal. Just gonna try see if I can find that. Diagnostics, maybe. Diagnostic settings. Okay, cool. Just leave that. Just checking something for you guys now. Okay. Okay, cool. So on my web app service there, I went down to monitoring. So I went diagnostic settings. That's what I did. After that, I went to add diagnostic settings. When I got there, I get various number of what do you call categories there. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting something more. Blogs. Then here I'm seeing you can send archive this thing to that. If you wanted to, you'd set up those. Oh, this retention date or metrics doesn't show me exactly what I wanted. So I wanted the reflection of what we are seeing on the notes, where we have application logging, all of those type of things. Clearly, it's trying to do its own thing there, unless I'm not at the right place. So stream logs, application logs must be enabled in app service logs, right? Okay, maybe if I tried something different, app service logs. So I can see app service logs are there actually. So there's app service logs. Oh yeah. So if you go to app service logs and you get there, you can say application logging on or off. Then you can set up the level of what you want. Application logging. Remember the blob option. If you have it there, you can set the level as well. And you need to set up the storage container there. Storage account. I don't want to do that. So you can do all of those type of jazz. Web server logging, detailed error, failed request logging. Remember what we were talking about just now? So that you effectively do it in here. So for you to be able to stream logs, like there's log stream. So you need to have this switched on. So I'm just gonna switch that on for now. And go to the applications URL first. Come on, come on. Come on. Is it not showing me? This. So I'm just opening that. Then there's log streams. In log streams, you'll be able to stream your logs essentially. That's what's going on in there. Oh, that's in there. Seconds. So as users request this thing, if this thing was failing and all of that, you'd see all your logs that are coming from here, from that configuration application logs populating that particular screen. That's how to stream logs. Access log files. Basically, on your URL, if you add this part and say SCM API dump, it will then give you what you call the logs that you require. Or you can go to app service file directory and navigate to home log files, and it will give you that, right? So let's try out this URL. So I'm just typing out while I'm modifying the URL that I just accessed now. We're gonna say .cm.net/API/dump. So I just modified my URL there to add that and to add SCM there. Yep. Let's see. Oh, there's actually downloaded a folder for me. Log files, there it is. Traces, those are the trace files. Deployments, it gives me, well, no deployments yet, hence why it's empty. But yeah, get the gist, accessing log files. Then we have configure security. Okay, this is right. But okay, configure security certificates. App Service provides tools to create, upload, import, and import a private or public certificate. Certificates are stored in a deployment unit bound to the App Service plans, resource group, and region. App services in the same resource group and region combination can share the same certificate. Okay, so it must be in the same region. Let me just highlight that. App services in the same resource group and region can share the same certificate. So those are the conditions, so it seems to me. So the table below details the options you have for adding certificate into app service. So you can create a free app service managed certificate managed by Azure. You can purchase an app service certificate. You can import a certificate from Key Vault. So using a Key Vault, then import that. You can upload a private certificate. You can upload a public certificate. So for you to be able to use a private certificate, there's a specific set of requirements that you need to go through. The free app service managed certificate and app service certificates already satisfy the free app service managed certificate and the app service certificates already certify the requirements the minimum requirements required for this certificate to work. So there's requirements that apply to this. So then here we say the following requirements are in place for private certificates. So the certificate must be exported as a password protected PFX file, encrypted using DES, and it must contain a private key at least 2048 bits long. It must contain all intermediate certificates in the certificate chain. Additional requirements on top of this is that additional requirements for securing custom domains in TLS binding is it must contains extended key usage for server authentication. So ODI that must be signed by a trusted certificate authority. So those are additional requirements for securing a custom domains in TLS binding. Those are the additional requirements there, which is the extended key usage, and it must be signed by a trusted certificate. So creating a free managed certificate app service plan must be in basic, standard, premium, and isolated to create a custom TLS or SSL binding or enable client certificate. Custom SSL is not supported in F1 or D1 tier. Limitations of free certificates. What are the limitations of free certificates? Does not support wildcard certificate. So you can't put a wildcard on the URL on the certificate. Does not support usage of client certificate by certificate thumbprint, right? It's not exportable. You can't export what you call the free certificate. It is not supported on the app service environment. It's not supported with root domains that are integrated with traffic manager. If the certificate is for a CNAME map domain, the CNAME must be mapped directly to the app name. So appname.azure, which is the URL we were accessing previously, if you remember well. So this URL here must be mapped to the must be mapped to the certificate. And to import a service certificate, app service certificates are not supported in Azure national clouds at this time. App service certificates are not supported in Azure national cloud at this time. If you have a working app service certificate, you can import the service into app service, manage the certificate such as in using a managed certificate, you can get features like renewal, rekey, and export it. Azure manages the following tasks when purchasing from them. So if you purchase a certificate from Azure, this is what you get from them, or the benefits. So one of the benefits is purchase process for GoDaddy. So they handle the purchase process from GoDaddy. They handle the purchase process from GoDaddy. Domain verification of the certificate, they do handle that for you. They maintains the certificate in Azure Key Vault for you, and manages certificate renewal. So you don't have to renew the certificate. Azure does that for you. Synchronize the certificate automatically with the imported copies of the app service apps. So every app service apps that's there, it does the automatic certificate importing process. Then if you wanted to upload a private certificate, exporting a certificate using OpenSSL using the following command. So that's the command that you can run to create a certificate. By default, app services are accessible on HTTP. You can switch off HTTP traffic and redirect HTTPS using TLS. I'm assuming that is settings in your app service. So in my app service, if I go to, let me see, turn it down. Okay, cool. So in my app settings, if I go to under settings, I go to TLS settings there. If I switch this on, you can access it on HTTP, vice versa. That is what it's talking about. And yep, That's more like it. Then we have managed app features. Manage app features. Okay, so for managing app features, we have feature management. I want to delve into this in a different video, so I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to cut the video here. So cool. Thank you very much.